Hi, this is a movie for Chapter 7, Problem Solve 1, Step number 10, where we're going to, Step 10, 11, and 12 are all building this query qryQ1% by type sales volume. So really, we have been working towards this when we were building the underlying queries where we did a total volume by category and the total volume for all items, okay? And so that's going to be the base of this query. So we're going to use those two queries we built to feed in the data, right? So if you remember, this sales volume by type had each particular type and then the number, and the qryQ1 sales total is just the one number that's all items. So we can use that data to determine a percent of that sales volume by type. So if you think about everything sold, 100% of what was sold, how much of it is category 1? How much of it is category 2? What percent? 25%, 10%, 50%? Which of these are the, how are they weighted out of the whole, right? What percentage of the whole? So that's what we're going to work on now. So let's go ahead and create our query in Design View. And it starts off by, we're not pulling this from a table, but rather we're going to a query. So we want to pick qryQ1 sales volume by type and total total qryQ1, you know what, I'm sorry. Okay, so this one is by type, and then we want to do the query total qryQ1 sales volume, sorry. Notice there's no connector between these, there's nothing relating them, and that's okay. We're just going to use the values for an underlying formula. Okay, so we want to calculate the percentage, so that's something we want to come back to and think about. Percentage of qryQ1 sales volume for each product type. So that's something we care about. Your subquery should include product type and a calculated field named percent of, all right, that divides, and here's our formula. Right, so we have to, part of this is like any word problem, you have to pull out the data. So let's start with what we know we have to bring in, and that's product type. Boom. Then the next thing is we want to calculate the percent of sales volume by type. And to do that, we're going to build a calculated field that takes qryQ1 sales volume by type, boom, divided by the overall sales volume. So we're going to go to our first blank in the grid on the field row line. We're going to right click and zoom so we can see. It's going to be called percent of qryQ1 sales volume by type, colon. Remember, left a colon is the name, right of the colon is the calculation. So if we look at my word problem over here, the calculation in words is here in the gray. So we're going to take qryQ1 sales volume by type, so you know what, yeah, qryQ1 sales volume by type, square bracket, divided by total qryQ1 sales volume, square bracket. So if I do this and I run it, I'm going to get all of these pound signs, right? Like looks like a railroad track, because look what we have here. What is that right there? Percent sign. So this is giving us a big decimal. So we need to turn that into a percent with 2 decimal places. So on here, I'm going to right click on my calculated field and go into my property window. My format, down arrow, percent, number of decimal places is right here, and it wants 2. So we're going to pick a 2. I can close up my property sheet, my property bar, and now I can run it again. All right, so that looks better, right? So sort the results in descending order by right here, descending, run it again, high to the top. Product type. Something looks wrong in this underlying thing that does product type. I'm going to bring this query sales 1 by type up. Sorry, by type. Query sales volume by type. What is round? What is round? Product type, which is in the products table. Well, I guess that is. Oh, around a golf. Okay, that makes sense. I forgot we were on the golf. That did not make sense to me here. Why, when we were running it round, but this is a golf, so that's around a golf. Was 12% of our overall. Lessons was the most. Accessories and clothing. Okay, that makes sense. So I think we have all of this. We can save it. qryQ1% by type sales volume. Okay. Close, and we're good with up through number 12. So we're done with that. Next movie, we'll finish this up with the SQL.